Welcome, friends and strangers alike, to LFK Stage Stories, the Bohemian harbor for all things performance and creation. On this show, we keep a lookout for theater productions that deliver the four horsemen of the stage: comedy, tragedy, drama, and satire. I'm your host, Chris Conde, and it's time to sit back, relax, and listen to the stories of the stage. Be sure to find LFK Stage Stories on the web, see photos, videos, and more from my adventures behind the scenes. LFK Stage Stories is a part of Ad Astra, produced for KJHK 90.7 FM in Lawrence. The first play of the season for KU Theater is The Christians. Last time on Stage Stories, I sat down with two of the actors from the show, Noah Parker and Kieran Regan. They revealed the inner workings of the characters that they play. This week, we'll hear from the director of the show, Marcus Potter.
New York City has been my home for the last 20 years now, and this opportunity here at the University of Kansas came about, and I had been really blessed in my career to have had some incredible mentors, from Anne Bogart at Columbia to my professor in my undergraduate work, Jim Kirkwood, who gave their time and energy and were so overwhelmingly generous with what they gave to me that I've been wanting and looking for an opportunity to give some of that back to the younger emerging generation. So when I heard about this position opening up, and I learned that this department values professors that are conducting research and they want us in the field and working, I thought, this could be a really nice combination to travel back and forth to New York, where I, continue to run the New York Rep Theater, and the department here, again, values that work. So they support it and they want us out there. So the combination of going from New York City back to Lawrence now is fantastic. Now I go back to New York City. I'm like, get me the heck out of here. How did my wife and my two kids survive and live here? And the family part is definitely part of the equation. We have an 8-year-old and 6-year-old. We were living in a 700 square foot apartment, great apartment, but kids in bunk beds in our living room can only last for so long. So when this position opened up, I thought this is really compelling and really great timing, and I just jumped on it and came here for the campus visit, got to know some of the students and faculty, and was really moved and inspired by who would be my colleagues. And I found that the students are they have an eagerness and a willingness to jump into the deep end. So the combination of all those factors just felt like a really nice fit, and it's been...
The Christians was written by Lucas Nath. A quick Google of Nath and you'll see words and phrases like hottest new playwright and remarkable talent. But for Potter, the critics' blurbs aren't the only thing that make for a masterful play.
Plays running all over the country, just an incredibly compelling, evocative writer with such rich language. I mean, the poetry and the texture and the details in his language is just fun to play, fun to listen to, the musicality and the bold themes. So the strain that runs through the veins of much of his work is the vivid language. The themes jump all over the place. Here with the Christians, it's why do you believe what you believe? How do you form the identity of who you are as an individual? By what you believe, and being conscious of what you believe and why is really what's at the heart of the Christians. Going back to Red Speedo, it was another moral, ethical question about how far are we willing to go to win, to succeed, and how far are we willing to compromise or release our moral compass in order to win. So Lucas asks these larger existential questions of the audience, which just leaves us ready and ripe to have a conversation. And it's accessible, and it's vivid, and it's funny, and you're in and engaged from page one.
No matter how good the script may be, it always comes down to the players to bring the story to life.
Teaching in New York, it was really between gigs, but it was between jobs. It was a class here, where this is where I'm really making a commitment to undergraduates for 4 years, for our PhD students, that it's really more of a longer term commitment. So building relationships and really getting to know students in a deeper way and having an understanding of what they need and where they're coming from, it's a just greater opportunity to make that richer investment. Whereas in New York, it was really, 4 weeks here, 8 weeks here, and people would come and go. This is an opportunity to really, establish those relationships, which is fantastic. This production, we have a phenomenal cast led by Noah and Kieran and Dominique and the other Lucy Kuski, our PhD student, and Riley Fullerton. We have a phenomenal cast. Set looks stunning. We're set in a mega church, a massive flats with these glorious stained glass backdrop designed by our MFA student Lexi Jost. So it's an epic yet simple production. At the end of the day, it's a blank canvas with actors speaking to those microphones, having these intellectual rhetorical arguments and conversations, debating scripture and debating why one believes what they believe. So it's a riveting experience.
I had the pleasure of seeing the show on opening night. Here's my review. Jenny's eyes cut through Pastor Paul where he stood. His recent enlightenment was causing him to say things he wasn't sure he could believe himself. Stunned by the words coming out of his mouth. Yes, he too shall be saved, he said. As he did, the theater shook with a thunderous fury. A Kansas thunderstorm enhanced the performance of the Christians on opening night, but the roar of the rain was unable to drown out the ruminations of the cast. The show opens as the choir pulls you from the bright lights of a theater into a hazy church sanctuary. The familiar gospel harmonies become a part of the set, centered by a blue cross towering over the stage. Pastor Paul charms the audience with a humble wit that hides his vanity. The church vibe only intensifies as he delivers a sermon to the blank faces of his fellow players. Playing both pastor and narrator, Paul often leans out to break up the drama with the occasional aside, playing it for laughs. Though at times this feels labored and often distracts from some intriguing dialogue between Pastor Paul and Assistant Pastor Joshua. The crux of the show has the congregation looking for evidence for or against the existence of hell, confusing tolerance for love and understanding for condemnation. Paul's wife Elizabeth, played by Lucy Kuski, exposes Paul's disconnection with his flock, and even worse, with her. The thunderstorm's ire began with a powerful performance by Dominique Waller as congregant Jenny. Landing blow after blow to the overconfident Paul, she exposes him, and with a boom, it became a struggle to tell the difference between the thunder outside and the revelation within. The choir was led by Kelly Hunt. They added a lot to the show, but could have used a few more chances to shine. Their rendition of King's Highway is akin to A Night at the Grand Ole Opry, but only peeks out for a few bars throughout the show. Overall, the play feels like a Sunday morning church service, but you only wish your pastor was this interesting, or willing to answer such tough questions. Is there a hell? The Christians never does lay its finger on the answer, but for some, they may know hell all too well, long before they ever get a chance to visit. The Christians was a fun show that spurred a well of reflection within me. I look forward to KU Theater's next production, In the Blood, a tragic tale about poverty's place in the American dream, written by Susan Laurie Parks. The Christians has one weekend left at the Crafton Pryor Theater, October 4, 5, and 6. Other shows in the area include A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder at Theater Lawrence. Also on October 4, 5, and 6, it is a comedy musical. The 20th anniversary performance of Rent will be at the Lead Center on October 6th, and Willy Wonka comes to the Lawrence Art Center, starting a 2-week run on October 11th through the 20th. Find out more about shows in the Lawrence area at LFK Stage Stories on Facebook and Instagram. LFK Stage Stories is a part of Ad Astra, produced for KJHK 90.7 FM in Lawrence. I'm Chris Conde. Have a great night.
Columbine and Piero, we know the magic of your spell. Of our romances, you're the hero. Now is the time to say farewell. Tonight, Vienna. Now lovers kiss beneath your linden trees. The world is waiting on the edge of the day, just waiting to say goodnight. City of love and laughter, heaven of hearts that seek romance. All through the nights of summer, under the stars you dance. Now is the hour we leave you, parting before the day begins. Sleep till the sunshine wakes you, dream to the sweet violin.